It's me. I'm finally back again. This is only the second time this year I've been back. So, if for whatever reason you were looking around waiting for me to upload, well, sorry about that. Sorry to keep you waiting. Not that I have any kind of celebrity status around here, but maybe someday. Yeah. Yeah, maybe someday Republicans will tell the truth too, but anyway. So, life, I think, can be summed up by one word of late: anxiety. That's pretty much been the at the center of everything lately. Just anxiety, fear, depression, um, despair, really. It was probably last weekend where it really kicked off for me into the real shitty territory. I was supposed to go out to a party in the Twin Cities that a friend was hosting. Wound up canceling that the same day at the party because I knew I wasn't up for it. I didn't have the mental energy to go out and do that. And that was just my depression was kicking in, setting in. It was just building up over the course of the day and then the following days. I think it kind of reached its peak around Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, just it's depression based around my prospects for the future. And what I got going on there is, there's a lot of, there's a lot riding on the November elections for me personally, because if we wind up with a Democratic-controlled government, then I'll be able to continue on with my transition, my hormone therapies. Hopefully, my surgery will be on the docket by beginning of next year. But if we wind up going the other way with Emperor Trump, I can just kiss all that shit goodbye, and I'll be left hanging in this weird semi-finished state where everything that I've worked for, everything I've fought for over the last few years will have been for nothing. And I'm trying to just get any one of my friends, family, whoever I think would actually give a shit about me to pay attention, to listen, and all I'm getting back is crickets. It's like, okay, thanks for having my back. Thanks for staying informed. Thanks for even reacting to an article I share. Just things like that. I'm trying to keep people informed as to what's happening around the nation. Things that will have a direct impact on myself and people like me. And I'm getting nothing. So, when you realize that you don't really mean all that much to the people around you, you just kind of feel like your sense of self-worth is, it doesn't amount to much, and you're left just feeling small, hollow, empty inside. You wonder what the point is of even going on. Yeah, and over the weekend, went back to work and come to find out that under my watch, we had an ongoing parts issue, which every time we have one of these happen, the company likes to go and make a big deal about it because, well, that's what they do. So because my name was attached to some of the parts, of course I got started freaking out about that. I got started worrying, okay, am I going to get written up? Am I now on the fast track to being fired? Shit like that. So I've got that compounded with with the other stuff, and just wondering, what's going to happen if I have something else go wrong at the workplace. Okay, suddenly you're fired. I've got no job. I got no money, no income. I lose my health insurance, which means I lose access to my hormone therapy. My lab work will no longer be covered. I'll basically have to stop transition cold turkey because, well, the insurance that I relied on to keep me from going bankrupt over it will no longer be there. And who knows if I find a new job right away, or if it takes me half a year to find one. And on my current savings, I don't have the financial stability to weather that kind of storm. So I got all that building up in my mind, and came home Monday, and I'll be blunt. Between my own fear of the future, the cold shoulder I've been getting from everyone in my life over these issues, and then the workplace stress too. I broke down. I mean, I walked through the door, and as I'm taking off my coat, I just found myself uttering this phrase that I wish I could have just gone to sleep and never woken up again. And I was done. I was ready to just check out, be done with all of this, because why keep fighting? I mean, I was even seriously considering, what would happen if I was to just right now, today, tomorrow, real soon, just decide to detransition, revert everything back to what it was previously, and just pretend to be this this person that everyone became accustomed to in my youth. I mean, yeah, I'd be alive. I'd be allowed to live and be a quote unquote normal person, but at the end of the day, I'd be so hollow and dead inside that I might as well be dead for real. It's like, you can't win. So, yeah, depression came in, kicked my ass, curb stomped me, just beat the hell out of me while I was already down. It was a rough few days there. Of course, my voice isn't helping either. I cannot get it to do what I want to do for more than a short term. Now, I did actually come across some recordings, some videos, some vlogs I did about 10 years ago. And, just kind of funny when I watch those now, and I see that, yeah, my voice now isn't where I want it to be, but 10 years ago, my voice was much deeper than it is now. I mean, it was, I mean, nowadays I think I'm somewhere close to the androgynous range according to the Voice Tools app, which, yeah, that just measures pitch, but it's a good starting point anyway. But yeah, I'll compare that with where I was before, and it's a night and day difference. So I guess I really shouldn't be too hard on myself over the voice thing, but it is a sticking point for me, and it's going to come in as a critical point this summer. Um, I think I mentioned about the Camp Icon event that I'm going to or plan to go to in Tennessee later on this summer. So yeah, the thing with that is it's in Tennessee, and you know their attitude towards trans people and just the LGBTQ plus community in general is not favorable, we'll say. So I'm trying to think here. Am I going to pass enough? Am I going to pass well enough as I am currently? Um, so that if I you know, don't have the option for a gender neutral restroom, obviously if I looking like this, going to a men's room, I'm basically dead. I mean, I'm guaranteed probably I'd say it's about an 80% chance I'm probably getting the shit beat out of me for looking this way and going in there. Because I'll be outing myself as trans at that point. But if you go into the women's restroom, okay, I'd say I got a 95% chance that nothing's going to happen. But what if someone picks up that my voice doesn't sound right, or there's some body language tick or cue that just that I don't even notice, but somehow gives me away. Things like that. And then okay, all of a sudden there's a whole shitload of fuck going on there, because of that. It's like, is there a scenario where I win, where I don't get the shit beat out of me, or arrested or whatever? Because I don't know. I mean, it's an event that I want to go to, but at the same time, I am scared of what could happen if the wrong person decides, if the wrong person sees me, catches on, and decides that they, have an axe to grind. Then what happens to me? I mean, I gotta think about all of this, and it's, I wouldn't say exactly terrifying because it's optional at this point if I even go. But I paid for the ticket, I paid for the hotel room, and that's non-refundable. So I don't really want to be out $600 for all that either. Plus the experience of spending 2 days with the band. So what do you do? I mean, you're in my shoes. What do you do? You have this rare opportunity to spend time in a small group environment with one of your favorite bands. That doesn't come along very often. But unfortunately, to do so, you have to spend 2 days, or in my case, it'll be 2.5 days, in an openly hostile state toward your kind. So what do? You take the risk and just hope it all works out, or no? So that's been on my mind a lot lately too. So speaking of Icon, I got a cold feet about this whole thing with Camp Icon. So I did wind up booking a ticket for their Minneapolis show, along with a VIP tour bus upgrade, just like I did last year. And I'm hoping this time that I won't freeze up the way I did before, because I do have things I want to say to them. Just let them know the impact that they've had on my life since I've rediscovered them. So, hoping, fingers are crossed, thumbs crossed, hands crossed, arms crossed, that I'll have a clear head and I'll be able to say exactly what I meant to say, this time around. I mean, yeah, last time I told them, I just blurted some random crap about their songs, all having meaning, all nothing seemed like filler material, just kind of a silly thing to say, but I mean, yeah, it was true, but still, just hope that this time I can actually explain the story of what demons did to me, how that helped me out. I don't know. Did I ever talk about that in these chats? I don't know. I could go into it right now. Can't think of anything else I really need to talk about urgently right now. Anyway, yeah. So this was summer 2022. I had just recently rediscovered them, thanks to my Spotify release radar. Uh, it pulled up one of their songs off the newest album. I think it was Dismantled. So anyway, I heard the song, liked it, thought, okay, it had been at that point about 10 years since I had last listened to them. There's a thing back when they released the lyrics for "Now You Know." Um, they released that as a Facebook post long before the song came out, but I lacked the maturity or the capacity to empathize with it, and the fact that it was such a radical departure from what their first album was, and it was one of those cases where okay, this is pretty angry, profanity filled lyrics out of a so-called Christian band. So I was very off put by that at that time because I wasn't emotionally mature enough at that point to deal with it. So anyway, so I just I see Dismantle on there and I listen to it, realize yeah they're just as good as ever. Pull up their entire discography and see what I've missed, and just start playing it from beginning to end. Thing was, at the same time, I'm insanely depressed. I mean, I'm at a point where I'm barely functioning because I'm so depressed, so out of it. I can't process what's going on around me, so I'm just sitting there, the music playing, um, controller in hand, playing. I think I've been like City Skylines or one of those. Just a game that really doesn't require a lot of you know, a lot of rapid thinking as far as like precision timing or anything like that. So I was just totally zoned out anyway, and it must have been a good hour or so. I was just totally in a different reality. But it was it was nearing it was in their album "You Can't Kill Us," and their song "Demons" comes on, and it was around the midway point that I kind of just snapped out of it and realized, okay, there's this really good song playing in my ear right now, and it was the second chorus that they were on when I snapped to, and the chorus it's fight back your demons, don't let them take you down, scream like you mean it, make me believe you, and then they got to the bridge, and it's you didn't come this far just to get this far. You didn't shoot from the moon just to hit the stars. You didn't come this far just to fade to black. It cuts me in half to see you hold back. You know, and it culminates with Ariel's just she's actually, I don't know if it's more of a shout or a scream at this point, but she's just on the track, just just letting her heart out, just fight, baby, fight, baby, fight. And for whatever reason, that you know that part right there just absolutely just nailed it in my heart. I was like, holy shit! I actually finally felt like someone cared in that moment. I mean, yeah, it was a song, you know, not written for me, obviously, but just in that moment, I felt like I actually had a message being crafted for me, um, and it brought me back. I mean, just listening to that one song was enough to bring me back from the depths of depression, the likes of which I had not seen in several years. So I was, I was hooked by that point. So I never got to tell them about that before, but I mean, I did mention in my letter, but who knows if they actually got the letter. But anyway, that's my come to icon moment. Um, but yeah, what else we got going on here? Um, God, I am loving this winter though, as far as weather goes. I mean, we've been seeing 30s, 40s, I think even a couple of 50s over the last few weeks, which yeah, for January was absolutely unheard of for the most part. Thank God it's been as warm as it has been, because I got my electric bill for January, and despite it being so much warmer than usual, it was still nearly um, a record high electric bill. And I don't know how much of that had to do with higher rates, how much had to do with my freezer running in the basement. I mean, yeah, that thing probably runs about $15-20 a month in extra cost there. But I also am wondering how much has to do with heat loss, um, because I had that issue with my back door at one point, where I just couldn't get it to close, and I'm not sure if I'm losing heat um, in the wake of that, because I got it to close, and it's still open to closes now, but it just seems so odd that it would happen the one time, and I did something to it, where I got in there and I moved around the weather stripping, and it's been fine since then. But am I still leaking warm air out of that area? I don't know. Then there's the part with the baseboard heater that blew up on me, right, was it 2 days before Christmas, 3 days before Christmas? Anyway, it was Friday afternoon before Christmas. It blew up, and I had to run other heaters from other rooms to make up for it, because when it blew up, it wound up tripping the circuit breaker, because I got three. I got the main one in the living room hallway, plus two smaller ones near that sliding glass door. Yeah, so, and they're the ones for the living room. So those are the central ones for the entire building, the entire condo. And well, when the one blew up, it tripped the circuit breaker, so all three of them are down. So I don't know. It sucked, but I got it fixed anyway. Yeah. There's been a bit of sad news in the family though. Um, my uncle, um, he did unfortunately die a couple weeks ago, and his funeral took place on 2 Saturdays ago. Sorry, was it 3 Saturdays ago now? I didn't get to go, because of the trip to Missouri was shitty travel conditions anyway, between here and there during that time. Plus, I didn't have a babysitter for Trish. Plus, I didn't have a lot of confidence that I would get through a trip to Missouri unscathed. You know, I didn't know what kind of policies they have around people like me. Kind of like Tennessee, where it's like, okay, there's their attitude is pretty shit-tacular. So yeah, wound up streaming the funeral when they held it, so I at least got to see it. But now I got a text from my cousin a few days ago, letting me know that the burial is going to be set for the 24th of this month, out in South Dakota. Again, another Republican stronghold, such as it is. But I don't know. Maybe I should go out to that one just because I missed the funeral and it'll be the last chance to say goodbye before he's laid to rest. But same time, it's like 6 hours drive time each way. So yeah, that that gets a little rough. Plus, I got a scheduling conflict that day too. Got a friend who's having a belated birthday bash that same day. He's actually the same guy that I skipped out on back in November, when my last bout of depression kicked in. Yeah, so either way, I'm gonna wind up missing 2 things in a row for the same party because scheduling sucks that way. So, or I might just wind up staying home altogether. I don't know. Anyway, how long have I been on this video? I'm was that 38 minutes? Shit. Oh, good God. I have been rambling on and on. I apologize for that. But, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I really even need to talk about it, but we had a new coworker start 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago now at this point, in the cell next to mine. And we interacted. We worked side by side for a while, and I didn't say anything because I just wanted to see what would happen naturally. And eventually, after about 2 weeks in, I did ask her, if she was aware that I was transgender. Just because I wanted to know if she was aware of it. I just wanted to be able to gauge, people's perception of me when they didn't know me before. So not like I was just trying, not like I was trying to be, one of those people, you know what I mean. One of those who has made their identity everything front and center and all that shit. But anyway, I just asked because she seemed pretty open-minded anyway, so it wouldn't matter either way. She said as much afterward, but she informed me that if she had just gone by what she saw of me and heard of me directly, she said she never would have guessed. But she did say that someone did out me to her when they were talking about other coworkers throughout the plant. So unfortunately, told me all I need to know about my ability to blend in and you know, keep on keeping on down the road at that place, because someone's going to keep outing me to all the new hires, which means I'm never going to be free from the label of the trans employee. Sucks, because that basically means if I ever want to be fully stealth, I am going to have to quit this job and go somewhere else where they don't know the original me. Sorry, not the original, but the facade that I was putting up for so many years before I started transitioning. So yeah, it sucked that I had to learn that people are so willing to out me to one another. But she at least gave me the assurance that she never would have guessed had it not been for that individual outing me to her. So I was happy to hear that. I really was. But I didn't get to see her at all last week when in the 3 days that we worked last week. Just no one knows. It seems like no one knows if she was off for any reason in particular. Um, my guess is that she probably decided to just not come back, because she'd been complaining from basically day two about how stressful that working in that area was. Even with help, she was struggling. So she was talking about going back into healthcare related jobs where she had come from before. So I can't say that I blame her, because that cell that she was working in tends to be kind of shitty. But anyway, last week we got someone new in there, so let the training start all over again, right? So anyway, I've been rambling on for close to about 45 minutes now, so I'm going to shut up and upload this. I apologize for the lengthy upload, but those questions that I asked earlier, about what would you do in my situations, please let me know. I just want to hear some feedback, just so I have something to base my final decision off of. But anyway, I will end this here, and I will talk to you again later on. Hope you all have a great weekend.